Anyway, I couldn't eat things like buffalo wings when I was sick without suffering horrible consequences and spending hours on the toilet the next day. But for the last 3.5 years, I've been able to eat out at my favorite restaurants with my friends and family without any symptoms whatsoever. I get 10 wings, 5 are dipped in extra hot sauce, and 5 are dipped in hot garlic. I always have fries, ranch, some celery, and a glass of pink lemonade. I've regained the freedom to eat what I want, to eat out with my friends and family, to live normally. And I think that there is the potential for others to do this as well. My name is Kenny Hannes, and I've been in complete remission from a severe case of ulcerative colitis for 3.5 years. In 2018, I finally had a colonoscopy and a biopsy performed that verified I am in clinical, endoscopic, and histologic remission. When I was sick, I tried many different things to get better. However, I didn't see the improvement or the level of health that I wanted until I started reading through PubMed on a daily basis and saw that there seemed to be a relationship between IBD and gut microbiome dysbiosis. Based on what I read, I implemented my own nutritional protocol that was designed to optimize my gut microbiome. It worked, and I've been healthy and free of symptoms ever since. I have several videos on my channel that show what I eat to get better, but this video is meant to show my current daily routine after 3.5 years of being sound and healthy. I still follow my 4 gut microbiome optimizing principles that allowed me to get better, but as you'll see, my current routine is very different and gives me much more freedom than the routine I followed while trying to heal. Before we begin, I want to clearly explain that I cannot predict whether or not what worked for me is going to work for you. I simply don't know. I think, based on what I've read, my own experience, and the experience I've had working with others, that working to improve the composition of the gut microbiome can have significant benefits and potentially bring similar levels of relief to others. This has significantly improved my quality of life, and as a result, I get to do things on a daily basis. I get to eat things on a daily basis that you don't see many people with IBD being able to do without suffering horrible consequences. In fact, what I'm able to do now would have caused me horrible amounts of pain when I was sick. So what I hope you see from my current daily routine is that I now get to live a normal life free from inflammatory bowel disease, and that there is the possibility that others can too. I start every morning with a glass of reverse osmosis water. I then make and drink a big cup of coffee. I drink it black so that it doesn't break my fast. Depending on the day, I usually read, watch YouTube videos, or respond to emails while I drink my coffee. Then I drink a second cup of coffee. After coffee, my wife and I usually take our dog Goose on a walk around the neighborhood.
Are you ready to go now? Okay, come on.
Then the workday begins. So, depending on the day, that could be going to work, studying, writing, or doing consultations. Around noon, I start preparing my first meal. I used to exclusively have a giant smoothie for lunch packed with prebiotics and probiotics. However, I am now much more flexible with my first meal, and since getting married, I've really moved towards eating 2 cooked meals per day rather than a smoothie for lunch and a cooked meal for dinner. For each meal, I focus on principles 2 and 3, so consuming prebiotics and probiotics. Besides that, I pretty much just choose relatively healthy foods, and I use whatever seasonings, sauces, and cooking methods that I want. Today's meal is a staple in the Hannes household. By far, one of my favorite meals. So in this meal, the prebiotics mainly come from the bell peppers, and the probiotics come from my homemade lacto-fermented pickles and carrots. Everything else in the meal is chosen simply as a matter of preference because I enjoy it, like the sriracha, or for a health benefit not necessarily related to the gut microbiome. This is a pretty standard blueprint for my meals. Check principles 2 and 3, and then just eat relatively healthy foods. But I get to add what I want to the food so that it also tastes really good. This allows me to stay disciplined and continue to cultivate a healthy gut microbiome while also getting to experience the freedom of eating good tasting food and drinking things like coffee on a daily basis. After lunch, I continue working for the next few hours. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I usually go to the gym around 5 or 6 p.m. Right now, Kara and I are both really trying to master muscle-ups, so we usually spend some time practicing them at the beginning of our workouts. And yes, she is better at them than me and got 2 in a row for the first time today, which was awesome. From there, we moved on to 4 sets of 3 for back squat because this was predominantly a leg day. I started with 225 for my first set and worked my way up to 275 for my last set. If you don't make this face when you're squatting, you're doing it wrong. Kara started with 185 for her first set and ended with 225 for her last set. If you can't tell, my wife is very strong and athletic. From there, we moved on to overhead squat. We both did our first set at 95 pounds for 3. I went up to 115 for my second set. Kara decided to snatch 115, which was a PR, making it her second PR of the day after getting 2 muscle-ups in a row. Big day for Miss Hannes. I jumped to 135 pounds for my last set of 3. From there, we finished the lift with walking lunges, dumbbell step-ups, and some light front squat. Shout out to CrossFit Corsicana for letting Kara and I film in their gym. If you're ever passing through Corsicana and need to get a workout in, this is the place to go. After working out, it's time to start making dinner. So for this meal, I checked principles 2 and 3 and am getting prebiotics from the potatoes and stir-fried veggies, while the fermented pickles and kefir are the probiotic sources. Everything else was again chosen either because I enjoy the taste of it or for a different health purpose. After dinner, I pretty much always have a bowl of chocolate granola to end the day while Kara and I watch The Office. This is not something that I consider to be healthy, and it's definitely not something that is beneficial for someone with active IBD in my opinion. This would have torn me up when I was sick. However, now that I'm healthy, I have the freedom to enjoy things like this on a daily basis without worrying about whether or not it's going to cause me to flare up. For me, I really focus on trying to balance healthy practices without them controlling my life. And part of that balance for me is enjoying something like a bowl of chocolate granola, which is one of my favorite ways to wind down the day. And that's my daily routine most days out of the week. However, I do eat out a few times during the week as well, though that doesn't really change my daily routine very much. The only thing that really changes is the meal that I happen to be eating out for. And when I do eat out at restaurants, I don't worry about following any of my gut microbiome optimizing principles, and instead, I just eat whatever I want to. In fact, one of my all-time favorite restaurants is Wings & More. They have the best spicy buffalo wings. I used to eat here so frequently before I got sick that I became friends with all of the staff members, and when I was in the hospital, they actually put this on the marquee. Kenny, get well soon. We will have a number 2 waiting for you. I always ordered the number 1, so I'm not sure if this was meant to be a clever pun or if they just got my order wrong. In any case, I thought this was hilarious. Anyway, I couldn't eat things like buffalo wings when I was sick without suffering horrible consequences and spending hours on the toilet the next day. But for the last 3.5 years, I've been able to eat out at my favorite restaurants with my friends and family without any symptoms whatsoever. I get 10 wings, 5 are dipped in extra hot sauce, and 5 are dipped in hot garlic. I always have fries, ranch, some celery, and a glass of pink lemonade. I've regained the freedom to eat what I want, to eat out with my friends and family, to live normally. And I think that there is the potential for others to do this as well.